So let us begin with today's class. So in the last class we were discussing or we have started discussing about this agile development model. Is my voice audible to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we have started discussing the agile development model, and in discussing so we have understood or we have studied that few problems which was there with any type of waterfall based models. So the first problem was that the freezing of the steps. Next was customization was not possible. Third was emphasis was given more on documentation part, and fourth was there was a lack of communication between the customer and the development. So these four very crucial points we have found in case of any waterfall based models, and in any agile development models they tend to overcome these things. Now since we were discussing last day, this agile, what it means that to move quickly. So this entire agile model, it is designed to help a project to adapt to change requests quickly. So this will. So, this is the main aim of this model. That is the major aim, if you say, that to facilitate quick project completion. So, how is this agility achieved? It is achieved by, suppose we want to fit any process to a project. So what should we aim at? We should remove the activities that are not necessary for that specific project. So we always aim as fitting the processes to the projects, and in a way removing the activities that may not be necessary for that specific project, and this will facilitate quick project completion. So anything that waste time and waste effort is avoided. Now, if we talk about agile development model, this is a broader group. Under this group, several models were defined. If I talk about a few models, there was crystal model, there was feature driven model, there was a model called Scrum, there was a model called extreme programming. there was a model called lean development. So, under this agile development models, a lot of software development lifecycle models have been designed. So, we do not have to study all this model, but we will study two very famous ones, that is Scrum and Extreme Programming. Okay. So, agile development model is a broader group, and under this group a lot of models have been developed and designed and used. So all those we won't be studying, we will be only studying two very famous one. And apart from these which I have written, there are others also, like there is a model DSDM, there is a model named unified process. So a lot of models are there. So what happens, or how does this agile model works, I will describe a bit. In the agile model, what happens is requirements, they are decomposed into many small parts. And these small parts, they are developed incrementally. Now, since they are developed incrementally, so it is an iterative approach. Agile model also follows an iterative approach where successively we are adding something, we are developing something. Now, this each incremental part, it is developed over an iteration. So each iteration is intended to be small and easily manageable. So each iteration, it must be small and it must be easily manageable. Okay. So they only last for a couple of weeks. This each iteration, they needs to be completed within a couple of weeks only. So at a time only one increment is planned, developed and then deployed at the customer site. So at a time only one increment, it is planned, it is designed, it is developed, and then it is deployed to the customer site, right? So no long term plans are made. No long term plans are made. So the time to complete an iteration, it is known as time box. I was talking about this time box in the last class also. It is the time to complete one iteration. Okay. So this implication of the term time box is that the end date for an iteration, it does not change. Why this time box has been defined? So that it can mark that when this iteration should end. One iteration should not go on for an indefinite period, right? So from the time box concept, we will have a delivery date, and that delivery date is considered to be the delivery date of that specific increment. So the development team, they can decide to reduce the functionality during a time box or not. Suppose I have one increment, the time box is defined as something, and it is seen that whenever any development team is trying to code that part, it is going beyond the time box. So the development team, they only need to decide whether they will reduce the time box for a specific incremental iteration step, or they will increase the time box. So whatever it is, it needs to be decided. So the central principle for any agile model is that the delivery of an increment to the customer after each time box. So this is the central principle, that is delivery of an increment to the customer after each time box. So after each time box, that thing should be delivered to the customer. So this is the overall picture of how the agile model working is there. That is, first we decompose the requirements into small parts, then we start developing those parts in an incremental fashion, that is in an iterative approach. Then at each iterative step, small and easily manageable parts of this entire product is being made. So at any time, only one increment is planned, developed, deployed. We have seen that when we were studying the examples with the different modules A, B, C, we have seen that at any time, only one particular thing it can be delivered. So it can be planned, developed, and deployed at the customer side. And long-term plans here are not made. And there is a term called time box. So the principle is that delivery of an increment to the customer should be after each time box. If it does not happen, then the development team and the organization needs to reconsider the time box. That is, they need to increase or deduct the time box that is associated with each and every increment. Is this concept clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we will study that. Oh, sorry. Now we will study that what is this essential idea behind this agile development models. Now, for establishing close contact with the customer during the entire development phase, and in order to gain a clear understanding of the issues, each agile project, they should include a customer representative in the team. We were talking about that. A customer representative should be there in the development team, because in order to communicate properly with the customer, each and every time the development team won't go and talk with all the 20 people, but there should be one representative who will be able to give answer to all the questions. So at the end of each iteration, the stakeholders, the customer representative, they review the progress made and they re-evaluate the requirements. So at end of each iteration, plus this customer representative, I am telling as CR, they review the progress. They re-evaluate the requirements phase. Stakeholders are who? The organizational people, the different teams of the project people, the CEO of the company, the director of the company, the clients of the company. So all of them together with this customer representative, they will review the progress made, they will reevaluate the requirements. So distinguish characteristic of this agile model is that frequently the software increments, they should be delivered to the customer and they should be re-evaluated and reviewed by the customer. So this agile model, they emphasize more on face-to-face communication rather than written documents, which we have studied in the earlier cases. So they give more emphasis on face-to-face communication. Okay. So it is recommended that suppose a development team size should be kept small. In order to help the team members, they should meaningfully engage in this face-to-face communication activity, and they should have collaborative work environment in this organization. So it is a saying that if more people are involved, there is a clash of ideas more, there is a clash of interest more, and the chaos increases. So in order to reduce that, the team size is kept small in this type of development models, maximum of 5 to 9 people. So this agile model, it is suited for the development of small projects. Why it is suited for the development of small projects? Because with smaller and lesser number of teams, it is not possible to like build and deliver very big projects. So if, however, suppose if a large project is required to be developed using this agile model, so it is more likely that the teams, they work which work at different locations, they need to collaborate themselves. So these teams, they need to maintain a daily contact as much as possible through video conferencing, through phone, through email. So since the main idea is of communication based, if it is a small project, then it is okay. If it is a larger project, in addition to the face to face communication with the customers, there should always be a communication established between the different team members through any mode. So communication is the main idea behind agile models. So before delivering anything, before deploying anything, you should communicate at any stage. Frequently there should be a communication that what you are delivering or what you are producing, whether that is what the customer is wanting. So there should be a communication mode followed. So this agile model, they will emphasize on this incremental release of this working software. It is this primary measure of progress is what? The primary measure of progress is incremental release of working software. 1 minute, okay? Okay. So few principles are there which are for being behind this agile model. The first principle is okay, first let me take a screenshot first. Wait for a minute, okay? Now we will study the principal ideas that was behind this agile development model. That is frequent. One is that we have already studied, that is the frequent delivery of incremental versions of the software to the customer in intervals of a few weeks. So frequent, I will write it just in short. Frequent delivery of incremental version of the software to the customers. And by this frequent delivery we mean like in the interval of a few weeks. The next is this requirement change requests from the customer. They are very much encouraged and they are efficiently incorporated. So any requirement change requests from customer, it is encouraged and also it is incorporated. Next is, if we have a competent team members and they enhance these interactions among themselves, so it is considered a very important thing rather than issue of sophisticated tools. So it is always advised that there will be a very good communication among the development team members, which can be realized through suppose face-to-face communication rather than exchange of formal documents. So बस एक मेल कर दिया, हम उसको मेल कर रहे हैं, आप हमको मेल कर रहे हो, मेल के थ्रू सारा हो रहा है, नहीं. It emphasizes more on face-to-face communication rather than this exchange of formal documents. Okay. Next, there should be a continuous interaction with the customer, and this continuous interaction with the customer is considered much more important rather than this contract negotiation. So, a customer representative is required to be a part of this development team. Thus, he will facilitate close daily cooperation between the customers and the developers. So, a customer representative is there who will facilitate this coordination on a day-to-day basis between the customers and these developers. Okay. So one important aspect of agile programming is they usually deploy this pair programming approach. Now, what is this pair programming approach? They usually deploy this approach. Now, what is this pair programming approach? In pair programming, two programmers, they work together on one workstation. So two programmers work together on one workstation. Okay. So one types in code while the other reviews the code as it is typed in. So one programmer's job is to type the code, and the second programmer's job is to review the code which is typed. Okay. So as it is, when it is typed only, another person is reviewing it. So the chances of making an error which might get missed from the person who is typing, it reduces the chances of error happening. So And it doesn't mean that throughout the entire project, suppose A is typing and B is reviewing, throughout the entire project A will type and B will review. No, they can switch their roles every hour or so. Whatever they want, they can switch there, but they need to work together in a pair programming approach, where both of them will be given one workstation to work upon, and they will work in that. At one time, one will code and the other will review, and they can exchange their roles every hour or so. So this is the entire picture of how this agile development model works, how what are the main aim or what are the main principle of working of this agile development model, and what is this peer programming concept which is deployed in agile development model. Okay, now as we have studied, with every model there comes an advantage and a disadvantage also. So now let us study what are the advantages and disadvantages of this model. So up to this part, is this working strategy of agile model clear to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, first let me share the attendance. Okay, so everyone please mark your attendance first. Okay, so is there anyone who has not been able to mark the attendance? Okay, so I will stop the share. Now, what are these advantages and the disadvantages? Right? Now, since this agile development model, they rely more on this knowledge of the team member with the customer, interaction with them, And informal communications are there to clarify the issues rather than spending some time or amount of time in preparing the formal document and reviewing them. So definitely this concept will eliminate some overhead. Why? Because why this concept will eliminate some overhead? Because सपोज तुमसे बात करके जो तुम्हारा प्रॉब्लम हम समझेंगे, सो अगर हम ज्यादा एम्फसाइज देंगे कि 2 साल पहले वो क्या बोले थे तो ये हो सकता है, वो हो सकता है, ये हो सकता है, उसमें अगर ज्यादा एम्फोसिस देते हैं तो उससे बेहतर है कि हम तुम्हारे साथ बात ही कर ले कि तुम्हें क्या प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है. So in any way, you will always know that whenever some problem arises, it is always better to talk to that person in order to understand that what is the problem. इन रादर देन मन ही मन में तुम लोग मतलब हम लोग सोचते हैं कि शायद ये प्रॉब्लम होगा, शायद वो प्रॉब्लम होगा, उसको डॉक्यूमेंट करना है, maybe these are the cause, so if this is the cause, this is the solution, if that is the cause, that is the solution. तो इन सब में तो ज्यादा टाइम लग जाता है. सबसे बेटर है जिससे प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है उसको कॉल करो, उसको पूछो फेस टू फेस, भाई क्या प्रॉब्लम है तुम्हें मेरे साथ, इस चीज के साथ क्या प्रॉब्लम है. So we do that in our daily life also, right? So this is the very advantageous thing, that since a lot of communication is there, so lesser importance is given to this formal document preparation thing, and it will eliminate a lot of overhead. But this is the advantage thing and this is a disadvantageous thing also, because lack of adequate documentation, it may lead to several type of problems. Now what is the first problem that may arise due to lack of documentation? Now this lack of formal documents, they will leave some scope for confusion and important decision taken during suppose different phases, they can be misinterpreted at later point of time. So important decision taken at later point of time, they can be misinterpreted by some different team members. The second issue that happens due to lack of this documentation is, in absence of any formal documents, it becomes difficult to get important project decisions such as design decisions to be reviewed by this external expert. So in order to get a complete picture of the project decisions, so this documentation is important, because the external experts who will come and who will look at this document, they won't be going and interacting with the client, right? So they should be seeing at the document and they will understand. So it becomes difficult to understand the project decisions, especially by the external experts who comes to reviews the processes. And the third is, when the project completes and the developers they suppose disperse, the project is completed, it is delivered, it is deployed to the customer, so the development team is free now, they will work on some other project. So lack of this documentation, due to lack of this documentation, maintenance can become a problem. Why is that? Because the maintenance team, they need to have certain documentation, right? How this project is made, what are the things that are followed in this project. So when an error is occurring and we are calling after it is deployment, we are calling the maintenance team. So they need to have a manual, they need to have a thing to understand that where possibly the error may have occurred and what possibly would have been the cause, then only they can maintain, right? So these are the few areas where problem arises due to this lack of documentation part. But this is a disadvantage, and also this is an advantage from the aspect that due to this lesser time is spent in documentation, more time is spent in understanding the exact core problem or the exact core demand of the customer, because there is a lot of interactions and communication with the customers. Okay, so anyone has any query in understanding up to this whatever we have talked today about the agile development concept, idea, principle, and the advantage and disadvantage? Anyone has any query? Okay, so the time is up, so I will stop here today and we will start from here in the next class. Okay, thank you so much for attending. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.